Hey guys, thought I would shoot a quick tip. I'm in the process of making a bunch of edge clamps, similar to the commercial ones that are available, like the Bandy Clamp. This is one I had done a while back. This is just an inner tube. This is a bike inner tube. I cut it down the middle so it was kind of the right amount of stretchy for my purposes. And you slip it over the ends and it makes a fantastic little edge clamp. I know there's some commercially available versions of these. Rockler sells one called the Bandy Clamp. Fast Cap sells one called the three-way clamp, I think, although I think theirs works a little differently. Either way, these work really well, and they're basically cheap or free. You probably already have, these are 2-inch spring clamps and an old bike tire laying around. If you're like me, if not, I just went and bought 8 of these from Home Depot. They're $1 each. So that's a significant change in price. These plus an old bike inner tube, which I already had laying around, but even if you had to buy this new, is probably like $5. And you've got yourself a great set of edge clamps. So I'm gonna make these really fast and kind of show you how I do it. I experimented a little bit back when I made this one, and the length for a 2-inch spring clamp is right about 5 inches. So I'm gonna cut all these sections out, and I'll be right back. And I still have a bunch of tire left over, and I've already used this for a bunch of stuff too. So you could probably easily get a dozen or more out of a single bike inner tube. If you care about this particular size of inner tube, it's right here, although I don't actually think it's all that critical. Now I'm going to use a hole punch for this next bit. You could conceivably just cut them out, this little section right here. I'll show you a little closer what I'm talking about. These were just cut with scissors and it works perfectly fine. I just did a regular old 90-degree corner and it's not ripped or anything. But just to add a little bit of extra prevention, about 1 1/4 inch in from each side, I'm going to punch a hole not quite halfway. So you could conceivably just slip these right over the ends now and call it a day, but that would be a little too stretchy. These are pretty tough, and I want it to really be able to stretch. You don't actually need that much clamping force for these kinds of clamps, so I'm actually going to cut half of this away and just leave it full on the ends to go over the tips here. As you can see, I'm punching these off center because I really want to cut away as little of this as possible so that the band will be wide and provide as much surface contact to the edge as possible. So on the inside of these, you see it's got this weird powdery stuff. We're just gonna roll these inside out. We're actually gonna use them inside out. That way the ribs on the tire won't actually be pushing on the surface. We'll be using the smooth side. It's nice and smooth here. And I'm just gonna go rinse all of these off. But first I'm gonna cut the rest of these out. There's all of these. I'm gonna go rinse these off to get all this powder off, and I'll be right back. So there we go. I also went through and marked all of these. That's what the yellow tape's about, just so I could easily distinguish them from my other gray 2-inch spring clamps from across the room. I'll be able to see which ones are which. But just to quickly show you how these work, found some scraps, and that easy. Obviously this is overkill, but but can't argue with them. They work really well. Now, do these work as well as the commercially available versions? I don't know. I don't have any of those, but I can tell you that they work really well. So they work well enough for me for right now, and this is what I plan to use for the foreseeable future. Now, hopefully you guys find that useful. So if you like this tip, please like and subscribe. Until next time, talk to you later, YouTube.